This is a bit different. Ooh. Hey everybody, my name is Native Vader, and today we're going to be talking about crowdfunds. Mattel's crowdfund, to be specific. It's been put out into the world now, finally. That's another thing we've got to touch on, but we'll talk about the crowdfund itself, what you get, and my thoughts on the crowdfund itself. So we'll start with what you get. So I've had to write some stuff down. You get the gates for a starter. So it needs a minimum of 5,000 backers to get the gates with the Ford Explorer. If you get 6,000 backers, you then get Tim and the fences. If you then go to 8k, you then get a Buck T-Rex from the Lost World, because that makes sense, having that in the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park. At 10k then you also get a Lex and a goat. So let's just run through some of those and then I'll pick up my thoughts on that afterwards. So the gate itself is really nice. I was really impressed with the motorized feature of the gates themselves. Really like that, the way they work in unison, and the sounds as well. Really like the sounds and the light up features as well. Love the flames, really great detail. What I didn't like about the gates was that gigantic hump that the cars have to pass over, because that didn't happen in the film. You just drove straight in, and I understand, you know, they've got to hide the mechanics for the gates to open, or the electronics for the lights and the sounds, blah blah blah. So there's that. So once you take that out of the way, you're left with the Ford Explorer. Now, I was expecting to see something pretty spicy, something pretty new for this Ford Explorer. And when I was presented with this Ford Explorer, it was just some paint applications that had been added and some rubber tyres. So immediately I was unimpressed and had a negative view towards this set. I've done a better job with modifying or enhancing my Ford Explorers by just doing a couple of things. I've actually added lights, sounds. I even motorized one Ford Explorer. You know, I get bored. So yeah, here it is. It's the Explorer I worked on some time ago now. I completely took it apart, stripped it to its bones, and I repainted the interior. I'll probably put some photos up of this anyway. I gave the CD-ROM, the interactive CD-ROM in the centre there, a wood effect finish. I also hollowed out the CD-ROM port holes, so the screens are actually images of the CD-ROM from the film that light up. You've also got a steering wheel control cover, so visitors can't interact with the steering wheel when it's in motion, like in the film. Track sensors also fitted to the front of the vehicle, and other various paint applications that were missing from the initial released vehicle that came in the T-Rex breakout set. So when I saw that one that was announced and it had some rubber tyres and some silver paint on the dashboard, I just thought, well, I'm not buying that. So the next bracket, which is 6k, and you're going to get Tim and some fencing. And immediately again my thoughts were, that's a terrible tier unlocking sort of bonus. The fencing should be with the gates. They shouldn't be something unlockable. It should be just, that's part of it. And the Tim figure, again, I wasn't impressed because it's just an existing Tim figure we've seen before, but with a different hairstyle. So no points there from me. And then you get to 8,000 backers, if it did happen, and you would then unlock a Lost World Buck T-Rex, which does look good, don't get me wrong, it's a nice paint job, but what's it doing there? You know, why is it there? People have been asking for it, which is fantastic, they've done it, but why now? Why in this set? It doesn't make sense. They've obviously reused the Hammond Collection T-Rex main body. They've, I believe, changed the neck sculpt and created a new head sculpt, albeit a bit rushed as well, because I think from images I saw, there were a lot of 3D print lines, so it was a very rushed job, which I thought was a little bit lazy, considering this should be a flagship. So if this is something you're wanting to put money into, you want it to look as neat and presentable as possible for your potential buyers to want to invest. And when I saw that, I just thought, no, you don't really care that much. But as a figure, it's great. I'm sure they'll work out those little kinks if it ever did get backed. I'm sure it will. And finally, the 10K gets you Lex and a goat with a removable limb. I think I'd given up at that point when I saw that. I just thought, well, that's it. That's all. And if you were to invest in this and it get backed within the first couple of weeks, I think it was July 11th, then all the backers would receive 6 paddock signs, which I just thought was a bit pathetic. It wasn't like the icing on the cake for me. It was nothing to me, really. So what's the problem? The first problem is that this crowdfund was only put out to America, which I thought was a little bit harsh, especially to international buyers who were screaming out for this thing. I didn't think that was fair at all, and they listened, but only after we kicked off. So then they opened it up to the international buyers. I think a lot of people, or I think a lot of people, are thinking similar thoughts to me. When you create a crowdfund, it's usually because it's something that is not generally financially viable for a company to produce, to put onto shelves, because it would cost a lot, and it would also cost a lot for retailers to have it on their shelves, to then for them to make a profit, and the toy company who's created it to make a profit. So you would generally make something that was so wild, so outlandish, so crazy, that yes, it would cost a lot of money, but the reason it would cost a lot of money is because it's massive, and it would be almost a one-off, but over several thousand anyway. And I'm fine with that. If it costs $600-700 for I don't know, a Jurassic Park visitor centre with fold-out playset area, a hatchery, a main area where a Hammond Collection T-Rex could, stand in the centre with the banner dropping, electronic sounds in the visitor centre and stuff like that. That's the other problem, is there is no imagination with this set. I don't see it anyway. To me, it looks like they already had created the gates. Like they created those a long time ago, by the looks of things, because that looked like a finished, polished product, which could not be said for the Buck T-Rex. That thing was just knocked together really fast. So yeah, there was no thought. I was bouncing a couple of ideas around with people before of what you could have made. Like I said, the visitor centre. You could have made, if you're going to chuck a Lost World thing in there, then why couldn't you have done the Lost World Fleetwood RV, the Mobile Command Centre? You could have done that with, say, 2 Mercedes MLs, and then put some tier unlockables like a doe, and then another unlockable, a buck, and then another unlockable. You could have had a high hide, and all that together in one massive set. Of course people would have backed that. I would have paid $500, $600, $700 for that easily. That's incredible, and people want that kind of thing. Not everyone wants this. That's the problem. People find it, I think, a bit confusing. Some people find it a struggle to see the worth in this, because times are hard, and not everyone has got that kind of disposable income, unfortunately. you know, I'm kind of fortunate that I can, but I'm also conscious enough to say when something isn't worth something, and I know that this to me is not worth it. If you just did the numbers roughly, say the gates were a sensible sort of price. It's a large set, it's 20 inches tall, so you say $85 maybe if you included the fencing, not including the car. The car itself is something like, I don't know, it's $20. The buck itself, that's another 65, 70. And the figures, you know, you just sort of chuck those in. It's going to be under 200 easily if you put all those together. But that's the other thing, is people would buy this stuff separately. There's no doubt in my mind. If you made a premium legacy collection or a Hammond collection, premium, proper premium, not what we've been offered with this rubber tyre stuff, is a proper, maybe even die cast, that would really sell it. Ford Explorer, Hammond collection scale, for say 45 or even 50, you know, really push it out there, but it'd be worth it. And I would sell the gates separately. I'd send them in a lovely set separately with the fencing, and have an exclusive figure like a Doctor Wu figure, or you could do a Hammond collection Lex and Tim, and Tim could have his books that he was trying to tell Grant otherwise about other people's opinions on how the dinosaurs died, and you could have Lex with the goat, because she's a vegetarian. It'd be hilarious to see her with a goat with a removable limb as an accessory, you know, and you could then charge $15 each for those things, and people would buy those because they got better articulation. And I know Mattel can do better articulation, they just didn't want to, because those molds were already there for those smaller figures and they just didn't want to do it. Oh, I'm trying to be positive, but you know, I can't really. But I am excited for the Legacy Collection T-Rex Ambush set, which features a brand new vehicle that's licensed by Mercedes, the Mercedes ML, with that removable rear cab, so you can make it look like one or the other ones from the film. I'll probably end up buying two. And you get a buck T-Rex. I believe it's probably going to be a retooled Extreme Chomping with a new head and neck, but it's got that, so that's great. And a new figure. Granted, it's another Ian Malcolm. It should have been an Eddie Carr with a magnetic removable torso. Just saying, spoilers for the film if you haven't seen it. But that's less than $40. Couldn't say no. You know, I can't wait for that to come out. I'm well excited for that to come out. But I'm not excited for this crowdfund. Not in the slightest. I want it to be. Really want it to be. But no, my money's on that Lost World set instead. So, oh wow. As of right now, the crowdfund is at 25% of where it should be for the initial 5,000 backers. And it's only got 16 days to go. Personally, I don't want to say it, but I think it's not going to make it. Yeah, I don't want to say it. I don't want to put it, you know, negatively, but I don't think it's going to make it. And it's because it's not what everyone wants, and that shows with the numbers. It's not very well thought out, and I believe this here is just a cash grab for Mattel. They've just chucked a load of current stuff together, with the exception of the gates, and just thought, we'll make some money here. We'll make a quick couple of million just by using some existing molds and just a couple of tweaks here and there. And a lot of fans or collectors are not stupid. You know, they can see past that, and I'm glad they can. I do feel bad for the people that do want to back this project, because if it doesn't get backed, they don't get it. And I know there's a lot of people that are really passionate about wanting to get this, and they've backed it 2-3 times already. And you know, I really hope that it does go through for you and you do get the set, but at the minute it's not looking good. And I feel like there's this unspoken thing, like you can't talk about this crowdfund in a negative way because then you're seen as not a true fan. But I mean, you know, I am a fan. I just know when I see a good thing, and I know when I see a bad thing, and this isn't a good thing. And I don't agree with anyone throwing hate at anyone else for their opinion. So, you know, you can have your own opinion, but please don't hate others for having one. Okay. And also, I don't agree with what I'm seeing on social media with people almost pressuring others to back this project because they want this to happen. And you know, sometimes you can want things as much as you want, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. You know, especially when it costs $250, $300 in the UK actually. I think $310 with shipping. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it anyway. But what's your thoughts? I want to know what you think about this project, because I spoke to a lot of people and I like to hear everyone's opinion and everyone's thoughts and how they could have done it differently, how they could have played this better. Yeah, interested. I'm interested. It's something I've been watching quite closely for quite some time now. So love to hear what you have to say. Anyway, this one's been different, hasn't it? It's been a bit more serious than the usual messing around, slapping a Hasbro T-Rex about, or painting something. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. My name's Native Vader. I post on Instagram and Twitter almost daily, and of course it's always Jurassic related. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Yes? Maybe. Also, I forgot to say, I built my own gates last year, and these, if you take out the hump they have for the electronics, this is the same dimensions as the Mattel one. So sorry Mattel, I did it first. It has like a little override switch in there as well, if I can get that to open. There you go, it's in there. You can't really see it from here, but it's there. But that was a bit of fun, and it does light up as well if I can get to the switch, wherever it is, somewhere back here. It's been a while now. There you go. Check that out. Still working. Just sitting there on the shelf gathering dust, but it works when she needs to. Really nice. That was one of my favourite builds, and this thing only took like about a week. It's all made out of foam board, the ones you get from hobby stores and stuff. Oh, and also I forgot the Explorer, as well as the lights, has sounds. You know, I can do it, so why couldn't they? It's not right. Premium.